Okay, in our video series of emergency medicine lectures, in this video, we are going to talk about pain management. We are going to discuss what are the different types of pain, what are the different terminologies that are being used to describe the pain, and how do you treat pain, what are the commonly used drugs that are being used in our wards, that are being used in the hospital, what are their indications and what are their contraindications. First of all, let's discuss pain a little bit. International Association of Pain defines pain as an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience arising from actual or potential tissue damage or described in the terms of such damage. Now, it is an unpleasant sensory as well, like the needle stick injury, and an emotional experience. The emotional experience, especially in the patients experiencing chronic pain. These chronic pain patients are depressed. They suffer from depression just because of the chronic pain they are suffering from, and it is arising from actual tissue damage. There might be a tissue damage or described in terms of such damage. Remember, pain is a very subjective term. You cannot compare pain of one person with the pain of another person. If one person had a needle stick injury, that patient might be crying out loud of pain, but the other person might have his whole finger chopped off, but that patient would be silent and bearing that pain and would say that I am not experiencing a lot of pain. So the pain is a very subjective term. It varies from patient to patient. So you must always treat every patient differently according to the scale the patient is experiencing the pain. It always depends upon the patient. Acute pain is the pain that lasts less than 1 month. And remember, acute pain is actually a warning signal. It is a protective mechanism because there is potential damage going on, and that pain tells the body that there is some damage going on and you need to protect that body part. But a chronic pain that lasts greater than 6 months has no protective role. If the pain is lasting more than 6 months, that pain will result in complications and that pain must be treated, and it has no protective role in the protecting the tissue damage, and it is considered as a disease entity, and it leads to many other diseases as well, especially the psychological depression and the emotional damage that patient experiences. Pain is divided into two types: nociceptive pain and neuropathic pain. Nociceptive pain is the pain that commonly occurs after a chemical injury, someone got burned by an acid; mechanical injury, someone got hit by a car and has his ribs broken; thermal injury, patient got burns after a house fire. These are all the nociceptive pains. Nociceptive pain is further divided into two categories: somatic pain and visceral pain. Remember, somatic pain is the localized sharp pain. Someone got an injury by a knife on the hand, a mechanical injury, the pain is right there at the site where there is the injury. That is a somatic pain. And on the other hand, visceral pain is the pain that occurs within the organs, and that is a dull diffuse pain. Someone having a myocardial infarction will have his hand on the chest and will complain of a diffuse pain throughout the chest. He will not typically localize that it's the pain right here and there is no pain over here on this side. That pain will be a localized dull pain on the whole chest. If a patient is having appendicitis, the patient will be initially having pain around the umbilicus and that pain will be dull. Now these are all the visceral pain. Or if the patient is having acidity, patient is having GERD, that patient will complain of epigastric pain or pain behind the chest, and that will be a dull diffuse pain. Now another interesting example where both of the somatic and visceral pain occur is the acute appendicitis. In the acute appendicitis, especially when a patient will initially complain of a dull umbilical pain. Patient will complain that there is dull diffuse pain around the umbilicus in the abdomen, because at that time there is visceral irritation of peritoneum. The visceral peritoneum is irritated and it causes dull diffuse pain. Later, after some hour, the patient will complain that I have the pain now in the right lower quadrant, the classical typical appendicitis pain. Now the patient is localizing pain. That localization of the pain occurs due to irritation of the parietal peritoneum, and parietal peritoneum causes somatic localized sharp pain. So in acute appendicitis, initially the patient is having dull diffuse visceral pain, and then when the patient localizes that it is in the right lower quadrant, that is actually a somatic pain. So remember, somatic pain is a sharp localized pain and visceral pain is a dull diffuse pain. Now coming to neuropathic pain. Neuropathic pain occurs due to irritation of the nerves. Now it can be peripheral and it can be central. Peripheral, in diabetic neuropathy, there is irritation of the nerves, there is damage to the nerves and patient feel tingling sensation, that is the peripheral pain. And there can be central pain that occurs in, especially in stroke patients. Stroke patients might complain of whole pain on one side of the body, and that occurs due to central pain. We'll discuss more about these in detail later. Another term that might come in front of you is paresthesias. Paresthesias is basically an abnormal sensation. Without a stimulus, someone feels that there is an abnormal tingling sensation in the hand while there is no stimulus going on. That is called as paresthesias. And when these paresthesias become painful, that is called as a dysthesias. Like if the patient now feels that there is pins and needle sensation in the hands and feet, that is a dysthesia. Now without any stimulus, patient is having pins and needle sensation and patient is experiencing pain, that is called as dysthesia. An abnormal sensation is an paresthesia. Hyperalgesia, increased neuronal sensitivity to a noxious stimuli. Especially it occurs in patients who are having shingles. If the cloth touches their skin, they get very irritated. There is a very strong pain sensation when the cloth touches their skin. To advise them to wear cotton clothes, soft clothes that does not irritate it much. It is not such a very noxious stimuli, but the skin, the nerves are irritated and there is increased sensitivity. That is called as a hyperalgesia. Now coming to referred pain. Referred pain is the pain that is perceived at location other than the causative stimulus. The problem might be somewhere else in the body, but the pain is occurring far away from that. The problem might be that there is irritation of the diaphragm due to the splenic rupture, but the pain is occurring in the left shoulder. This is referred pain. Patient will complain to you that I am having pain in my left shoulder, but the problem is splenic rupture, and that splenic rupture is irritating the diaphragm. But there is no problem on that side, there is pain on the left shoulder. That is referred pain. Now why does this occur? Basically the nerves that are supplying the specific viscera or the specific organ like spleen and the diaphragm, those nerves come together at a specific level in the spinal cord, and at that very level of the spinal cord, the nerves from the specific dermatome of the skin, the nerves that take sensation from the skin, are also synapsing at the same point in the spinal cord. So both of the nerve from the skin as well as the organ are synapting at the same point, and when there is irritation of the one nerve, the spinal cord gets stimulated and it thinks that maybe this signal is coming from the skin and there is pain in the skin. So your brain thinks that the pain is coming from the skin, not from that organ. So that is basically a confusion of the body just because both of the nerve supplies synapse at the same point in the spinal cord. Projection of the pain usually onto a specific dermatome or myotome of the segment of spinal cord. Patients of cholecystitis and perforated peptic ulcer disease might complain of right shoulder pain because that pain is referred to right shoulder. Patients having hemoperitoneum splenic rupture might complain of left shoulder pain, that is called as Kehr sign, that occurs because of the irritation of the diaphragm, because the nerve supplying the diaphragm synapse at the same point as the left shoulder. Patients with appendicitis may complain of periumbilical pain initially, diffuse periumbilical pain, that is also a referred pain. Now these are certain organs and these are certain areas of the skin, they synapse at the same point and this cause a referred pain. The problem will be in the heart and the patient will be having pain in the left side of the chest. The patient will be having pain in the esophagus, the problem is in the esophagus, the patient will have retrosternal chest pain. Patient will have problem with the stomach, the pain will be in the epigastrium. Patient will have problem in the liver and gallbladder, it will cause referred pain in the right upper quadrant, small bowel, periumbilical area, colon, lower abdomen, bladder, suprapubic region, and kidneys and testicles cause pain in the groin. Especially the kidneys, patients of the kidney stones, they get the referred pain to the groin. The stone is not doing anything in the groin, but the pain is coming to the groin. That is the referred pain.